In this video, we're going to discuss how workflow relates to service level agreements. And so as you look at the screen here, you can see that I've filtered my app list to SLA or service level management, and I've clicked on SLA definitions, and it's showing me the various SLAs that I have configured in this demo instance. So what we'll do here is click into this Priority 1 Resolution 8-hour SLA record. So as you look at the screen, this is our form for defining an SLA. I'm not going to get into this too much, as this is covered in the wiki as to how all this works. But the gist of it is you pick the table you want the SLA to point at. You set the conditions for it, and when those things are met, the SLA will kick off and start to execute. The meat and potatoes part of the SLA, the process that fires underneath the covers, is workflow. So workflow is the engine that the SLA uses to make various things happen as the SLA progresses. So as you look at the screen here, we've got this workflow field, and this defines what workflow is being used for this particular SLA. You can click on that little button there next to it. So here's the workflow. You can see the toolbox on the right hand side here. I'll go ahead and compress that in so we can get it out of the way and we can see the whole SLA workflow. So this workflow will fire when the SLA starts, and in this example what we're doing here is we're using some timers, and when the SLA gets 50% of the way through its overall duration, it's going to execute this always path here, and it's going to create an event. So this is a little bit different than sending an email directly. It's actually creating an event in the system, and notifications can monitor for events and then get sent based on events. And so it's using the event mechanism to do that. So that's what this event is here. So when we get halfway through the SLA, we're going to create an event. That event ultimately is going to send an email out to the assignee for the SLA. We're going to continue to wait. So when we get 75% of the way through, if the record has not been closed and it's still in an open state, the incident record in this example, then we're going to take the actions out of this always path. So in this case, we're going to again create an event and notify the assignee, basically saying, hey, you're 75% of the way through here, you're still not done. We're also going to wait until the SLA is breached. So when it gets completely through and it's breached, we're going to notify the assignee, we're going to notify the assignee's manager, and then we'll go to the end. But the main takeaway from this video is this is an example of how workflow relates to a service level agreement. You can configure these however you choose. You can put all kinds of other activities in here, but this is how the workflow engine relates to the SLA. And so I'll go ahead and execute one just so you can see it run. So we'll go to an incident, we'll create a new incident. For our example, we really don't need to do anything too fancy. We'll just go ahead and set it to high and critical. We'll save it. And so that's just the criteria necessary to get that SLA to start. You can see down here our Priority 1 Resolution 8-hour SLA has started. We'll go ahead and click on that. It'll take us into the SLA record. And down here there's our show workflow option. We'll click on that. And what we'll see is the workflow has started and it's currently in a wait state. So once we got through 50% of the SLA, it would go out of this path, go to the next, etc. So that's it. We're not going to go any further than that. Just a quick context example for how workflow relates to SLAs.